Good morning, Paul. Thanks for joining us. You've had a little look back at Tuesday night's game. What are your thoughts on that, having spoken to us after the game as well, of course?
As far as like collecting information regarding the team, I think it's there in front of you. Do you know? And one of the things you have to do, especially with the interviews, there's a lot of interviews today. You got to be careful because sometimes you're repeating yourself and you're giving supporters the same messages. And I think the messages for our supporters is really how hard we're working to get better. I think that's the key. I think our problems will be there for all to see if you analyse statistics, etc. So, but I was really pleased. One, we got back in the game and we equalised. And two, we had control of the game at Portman Road. I think that's very important for us, for me as a manager. So I want our team to be the aggressive team on the pitch. I want us to try and dominate possession. I want us to create the most chances. I want us to score goals. So all aspects are taken and considered. I thought Lincoln were excellent first half especially. They really impressed me. So I thought the draw was a fair result and plenty to work on.
How hard is it to operate in a 3-game week? Because you want to look back at the game, but you also want to get out on the training pitch as much as possible, don't you?
The training side of it's really tough. I think our supporters can appreciate that. You're not going to be spending... pre-season's so important for football clubs. It's your 6-week block to get everything ironed out about how you want to play, how you're going to play, how you're going to perform, your patterns of play, etc. Coming into 3-game weeks as a new manager is difficult. There'll be a lot of players out the team, for example, who think they should be playing. There's a lot of different issues that go on and around clubs, and you're just trying to manage situations rather than the actual team at the moment. Yeah. But certainly going into the Plymouth game, it's a good game. Plymouth have had an excellent season. For a promoted team to be up around the places where they're looking to think, could we still get in the playoffs? That's a really big achievement for Ryan and Steven Schumacher. It's good progression for Plymouth. So we'll have a difficult game on Saturday because we'll play against an opponent that doesn't fear you, and that's a big game for us.
How have the lads come through Tuesday? All unscathed?
Yeah, really good. We just had a video analysis meeting this morning, which is more for, education, where we want you on the pitch, where we want you to play, partnerships building, how do we get more crosses in the box, how do we get more possession in the last third, how do we create more chances? And these are all the aspects of the game we're looking at the minute.
Just going to ask you about Caden Jackson as well. He's come in for, glimpses in the last couple of games. Are you pleased with his impact?
Listen, probably Caden the other night's had 2 minutes, and yourselves in terms of substitutions, it's you're just going on to satisfy a need. There's no impact for 2 minutes. Caden's got a really strong CV at the minute in terms of he's moved from Accrington to Ipswich. He's come in as a big sign and he's played games. He's been courted by other clubs, which is there for all to see. Now it's about getting him back into the team, the work ethic of the team, the shape of the team. And I think over the next few weeks, we'll certainly be seeing a lot more of Caden Jackson, that's for sure.
So from a physical perspective, he's in a good place?
He's fine, yeah. Yeah, of course he is, yeah.
And Jack Lancaster as well, he came on. And,
all the lads the same, As you guys will pick up, it's hard at a club because you'd appreciate the fans want to know about every player. Yeah. But sometimes we actually have probably too many players to speak about individually. I think for me, lads, going forward, it's a lot more speaking about, the team, how hard we're working, and how we're trying to be successful for our supporters, that crave and demand that we be successful.
A year ago, Paul, we've just been speaking about it off camera, the Liverpool Atletico game, you were there.
Yeah.
What year? No one would have thought this, would they?
Wow, yeah, what a question. It's been a horrendous year for everyone, all around the world. I suppose we'll obviously speak about our own country because it's what affects us most, but as a son, both my parents went to hospital with COVID. They're both elderly now, and a lot of people have lost their loved ones, and it's been a horrendous time. And hopefully, as we come into the summer a little bit more, hopefully the sun can start shining for everyone, because the last year's taught us all a lot of different values, and whatever the values that people need to take from it, they should take going forward and make sure that tomorrow's a better day.
You've said coming into the club that you want everyone to be positive and looking upbeat. Is that your outlook on life as well?
A little bit. Yeah. Life's too short for loads and loads of, I say my dad's going through a really tough time at the minute. For people out there, it's tough. And as a football club, for us, we have an opportunity to make our community happy. And that's a big opportunity. It's also a big pressure. When our lads can't feel that pressure, we've got to make sure they feel Portman Road's a place where we go to entertain people. And then if we can make people, especially in the Ipswich area, for us proud and happier, and then everyone does that around the country. Obviously, if your team's at the bottom of the league, you're going to be a bit miserable, aren't you? But we can't stop that. But football in general gives so many people something to look forward to during the midweeks and the weekends, and it's played a massive part in people's, weeks, and hopefully going forward that it can play a big part again.